Catherine Stone from Injury Florida Law is back to discuss auto accidents and property damage. She has a few things that you need to know if you're involved in an accident. What's going on, Catherine?
Good, how are you?
I am well. So always looking out for people, and this is kind of an interesting, different one than we normally talk about, right?
Well, this one's more about the property damage aspect.
Okay.
I've had quite a few recently where they had multiple cars on their policy, but you know, the older vehicle didn't have comp and collision, which meant that they didn't cover that vehicle for property damage.
Okay.
And the reason that that has now become important in some of these cases is liability is not always clear. So sometimes the insurance companies will basically negotiate amongst themselves as to who should pay for property damage and may assign one party, like, you know, one insurance company may agree with the other insurance company, yeah, we're going to put 20% on our client. And so what ends up happening is when that happens, the at-fault driver who has more percentage, they're going to cut your check of what they would pay you for that total loss. They're going to cut 20% out. So, for instance, let's say your check was going to be $3,000 for a total loss. They're going to reduce that down by 20%. And in some instances, you know, it could be 50% liability or it could be 60-40. And when you start dealing with having to replace a vehicle, it actually, I mean, it hurts your pocket a lot. So what I was trying to explain to some clients the other day was you have to, I know for insurance rates and people always want the cheap rate, but also think about what happens if you are in that vehicle and you have a crash and maybe it's not as cut and dry. You may be worse off financially if you hadn't just gone ahead and paid for the comp and collision. And the other thing that's important is a lot of times your insurance company will go to bat for you, and they even can arbitrate with the other insurance company on your behalf to try and get that that 100%. If you don't have comp and collision on that vehicle that you were involved in, they don't have to arbitrate on your behalf.
So just to kind of summarize, it seems like you're saying that this is one of the things that gets left off auto insurance because people want to keep their premiums down.
Right,
for that,
and they tend to do it for a lot older vehicles.
Okay.
Or sometimes just because it's the rate. You know, they're trying to get the cheaper rate.
High. Rates are high here in Florida.
The rates are very high, and I get that. The thing that a lot of my clients have a hard time understanding is, well, why am I not getting the full value for my vehicle? Well, there's a dispute as to the other person may not be 100% liable.
Is this have anything to do with, and I hope I'm not just combining different situations, but does this have anything to do with the no-fault state elements of it?
No, not really.
Okay.
No fault is a completely separate part of an insurance policy.
I just blame that on everything.
Right.
So that's why I wondered if I could do that.
That is probably one of the biggest factors in the insurance rates here in the state of Florida.
Okay.
I'm not an insurance agent, but from my understanding, that's one of the big factors. But, you know, comp and collision, that's just more about, are you covering your vehicle in case of an accident?
And if you're not doing it the right way, that's where you think you're going to get
And I just always tell everybody, I know we've done this before, is at least once a year, everyone should look at their policies, their health insurance policies, their auto insurance policies, and actually sit down and ask somebody to teach you ask your agent, what exactly is this? What am I covered for and what am I not covered for? Because 9 times out of 10, clients come in and say, I have full coverage. And they don't have comp and collision, and they don't have uninsured motorist coverage. But they understand full coverage as being, I have and what really ends up happening, what's required by the state of Florida.
That's what I was wondering. You want to keep that required by law, but it does make sense to go that full bit. And you know what, if you have more questions, of course, legally speaking, if you are involved in that accident and are wondering why you're not getting that 100% amount, Catherine, well, she could be your lawyer, help you out, answer those questions. There's her information on your screen for you to give her a call today.